Sutra 4. Vritti Sarupyam Idaratra. Vyasa says, in the Vithana Chitta, Purusha is having a certain type of balanced Chitta Vritti. The Sutra mentions only one Darshana, that is Khyadi alone is Darshana. Chitta, like an Ayaskanda Mani, that is a magnetic iron. By its mere sannidhya, mere presence of the magnet, it becomes the upakari, the useful thing. Then the Purusha who has this vision becomes the Swami or Yajamana. Just by his presence, he becomes useful for everything. He doesn't do anything, just like a magnet. In his consciousness of Chitta Vritti, the cause for Purusha is always Anadi or eternal. That is what Vyasa says. Vachaspati says for this Bhashya. Only for the Chitta with the Vyutthana Vritti, that is the function of arousal for giving some use to others. There are different forms like Shanta, the peaceful, the Dhira, the bold, the Mudha, foolish. All these things happen only when there is a Vyutthana Chitta. For the Chitta which became one with Purusha by total Niruddha, these differences does not occur. The Chitta in the example of a red flower and the Spadiga or the prism, it grasps the difference when the flower is near it. And when it is not near it, it doesn't have any color. Thus, it grasps both Veda Buddhi, that is difference in intelligence, and Abheda Buddhi, the oneness in intelligence. Both are present there. And the reason for it also is present there. Intelligence experiences through its functions of grasping, the cognition, the Shabda and other Vishaya. By its naturalness, that is the Prakrititvam or Swabhava or the naturalness, and by its form of energy, because Buddhi is Chidrubatvam and feels that I am a Mudha, I am a Shanta, I am sorrowful, I am happy. All these feelings happen because of its energy, because of its Chidrubatva only. It projects these onto the Purusha, which is naturally having Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Now, these feelings are projected by the Buddhi, which is Chidrupa, onto the Purusha, which is naturally guna, without color, just like that Spadiga. The faculties with which Buddhi experiences have the qualities of Purusha, therefore it is called Purushatva. Buddhi has Purushatva. There are revealed Purusha Vritti. Purusha Vritti is functions of the Purusha. When the opposites are experienced, that is the two Dvanda, the opposites are experienced by the one who experiences and the experienced are possible. Distinction is there. With and without Viveka Khyati. This can happen with wisdom or without wisdom also. This difference is revealed due to Viveka Khyati. But such a difference occurs is revealed only with Viveka Khyati. Viveka Khyati produces these two differences, but it is that wisdom, that Viveka Khyati itself, which tells you that these are the differences which is revealed and not actual differences. In Chitta, in every Samkrama means entry from one field to another. It is Samkrama means that somebody entering one field to another. It may be a particular subject. When I am entering from a field of pathology, my intelligence enters from a field of pathology into another field, say astronomy, or from philosophy to music. Now, this is actually a sankramana of the Buddhi, no? So, from one field, we can enter into another field. And when this occurs with its own form, in the same Sabhava form, it is known by its own communication of intelligence. All is understood by intelligence alone. Intelligence doesn't change. It just changes its position from one field to another. The intelligence doesn't change. It is the same concentrated intelligence which enters into different fields of activity and embraces, integrates everything. For the Sattu Purusha, the enjoyment or the bhoga is a very complex process. It's a very complex process, and is very special too. Vyasa quotes the sutra of Panchashikha, Ekam eva darshanam khyadireva darshanam. That is the quote from Panchashikha which Vyasa gives. Ekam eva darshanam. Darshana or vision is only one. There is only one darshana. Darshana or vision is experienced in your buddhi, in your intelligence, by its naturalness, its physical property of jadada, and it grasps both sensory objects and subjects both, like wisdom, viveka. Without this process, the Atma Purusha cannot experience his own Swarupa of energy. Both the internal and external darshana are ultimately visions of the same type by the same intelligence in the same person. Now, this is a profound truth raised by Vyasa and before him by Panchashikha, since the nervous energy or bioenergy functioning is the same in both cases. From our 21st century, we can understand this more easily. But because we are also speaking English, no? But even in that Sanskrit speaking world, ancient world, they understood this truth. That truth is the same. Only thing the language has changed, that is all. Khyadireva darshanam means Khyadi is a vritti of dharma like udaya and vyaya, and in common parlance of origin and expenditure or birth and death. Udaya and vyaya is birth and death. This birth and death of or origin and loss and rising and setting are laukika vritti only, functions of the world only. And these are also the vritti of the eka as mentioned above. And now here the alaugiki and the laugiki, that is the cosmic and the bioenergy, are the same. Now I am speaking from the 21st century point, but the same words, the alaugiki and laugiki, the cosmic energy and the worldly energy, the earthly energy, which is circulating in our bioenergy, these are the same. And there is only one light or darshana or energy, which is seen in different forms by our intelligence due to its characteristics and abilities. If your abilities are less, you will not see the oneness. If your abilities are supreme, you will see the oneness definitely. So your scientific intelligence depends on the abilities which you have. So this is a very ancient discovery of the Indian scientists, and Vachaspathimisra is repeating this idea of Vyasa before Einstein was on the scene of science. The oneness of energy, whether cosmic, earthly, or from any planetary or starry spheres, and from our own body, the bioenergy of all living things, all these things are the same. That is, the darshana is the same. And there is a beginning and end for everything that is born. And this is perceived by our senses, and each have different functions as well. Because of these different functions, their gati or movement also differs. Gati is the movement. When there is gati, the gamana, the movement is there, the velocity is there, the momentum is there. That differs from each other. Vachaspathimisra says, repeating Vyasa. But the common law is that the pinda is the mass with weight. Pinda, the mass with weight. That is the matter. With its size and weight determines its gurutva. The size and the gurutva, the weight. It is this gurutva which attracts something, no? So that determines that the solid matter with a mass, the pinda, and a particular size and weight. That determines its gurutva and lagutva, whether it is small or big. It is the mass which determines these powers. And by these, Vachaspati says, quoting Vyasa, by these the gati also is determined. It is by this power the gati or the movement, the force of energy, the kinetic energy is determined. But all these are due to the ultimate energy of Brahma, says the ancients. And this is not disproved so far by modern science. We are getting more and more close to this view rather than we are going away from it. But has been, actually, we can say that it has been partially proved even. When ancients say that Prakriti with its form and changing functions and Pinda and Gati, mass and velocity is the Pinda and Gati. It is the same as Brahma. Brahma is the energy which is Saguna aspect, and the equation is the same as our E is equal to mc square. No? That is the Saguna Brahma. Here the E is the Saguna Brahma. But the Nirguna Brahma is even beyond that. That is what the ancients said about Brahma. That's why I said it is partially proved. The only difference in balancing the equation is that one is done in Sanskrit and the another is in English. It doesn't make any difference between human intelligence of the ancient and the modern. Our technology has improved so much. Probably the ancient people did not have this much of technology, but the intelligence and the theoretical basis for all these things were already there in their brain. We are just successors. We are just inheritors of that intelligence of the ancients. The word Udaya and Vyaya, birth and death, are used in Indian astronomy for gain and loss, or for raising and setting of the sun. The energy disappearance, the energy again coming. This is birth and death, the cyclical functions. The Chakravala functions, it is called, the Valana function, the Chakravala deflection function. All these things are actually mathematically, astronomically, philosophically explained, and also from the point of view of our bioenergy. It's not that science. You have to read each and every one of these darshana, because each scripture is actually a special subject which deals with the same thing in different views. But when you put all these things integrated, you get the only one vision, and that is the Advaita. The Swabhava of Purusha is Chaitanya or Urja. Urja means energy. So the nature of the Purusha, the Brahma, is energy only. It is energy. So whether you call it by any name, it is energy only. And this Urja Shakti is Avyakta, not perceived. In Bengali language, it is called Abhyakta. Avyakta is pronounced Abhyakta. Jagadish Chandra Bose actually uses that term Abhyakta for his energy experiments. And this Urja Shakti is Avyakta for our sense organs. But it is perceived by our subtle Anumana, Sukshmanumana Pratyaksha. For our intelligence, we can do Anumana, and with the Anumana, we can see that directly. Sukshma means subtle, Anumana Pratyaksha. Then you can directly experience it, not with your gross eyes. Therefore, common people cannot easily see or perceive it. And fix concentration on such avyakta things by meditation. That is why we give a representative, a replica, a model which every child can see and concentrate. Not because we don't know the real nature of the avyakta state of the energy. If the mind is already fixed in an avidya and in jada or inert forms of the seen world, the process of meditation on energy that is unseen and subtle becomes more and more difficult. That problem is definitely there. To become the Yajamana of this prapancha and to have a Swami Bhava, one has to know these things. And to know it, one has to associate with several forms of avidya. That is the different types of knowledge systems pertaining to the universe, the external universe, the physics, chemistry, biology, all these different systems of knowledge you have to come across. These are all types of avidya, but these are essential for your intelligence to integrate the oneness of everything. Only the one who yaj sacrifice, can become a yajmana. The one who knows this universe and without attached to it. Know the universe, but don't get attachment to the universe. Sacrifice all the enjoyments of the universe. He is the Swami of the universe. And it is that person who is called the Yajamana, the sacrificer, the Purusha, the Swami of Prakriti. Because of this sacrifice, two things: knowledge of the entire creation, then sacrifice of the samsara, the attachment to it, just for the sake of wisdom, for the sake of knowledge. Such a person alone is called the Yajmana. So knowledge, the thirst for knowledge is essential for Yajmana, is a scientist of that type. And the chitta of the Yajmana becomes Swam. Swam means one's own. That is why Swami, the term Swami means Swam, one's own. When your chitta is Swam, your own, you become the Swami of everything. If your chitta is not your own, if it is wandering around, you are not the Swami of anything. Whether you call everybody Swami, Swami, they are not Swamis. They are just namesake Swamis. Unless the chitta is controlled and Swam, nobody is a Swami. So Swami is not a term to be used for everybody in fact. So a chitta of the Yajamana has to become Swam or own, and therefore the Yajamana is called as Swami, Swami Bhava. He also who sacrifices the worldly pleasures, the world itself, knowing it wisely with wisdom, he naturally becomes the Swami of his own Prakriti. When he becomes the Swami of his own Prakriti, he becomes the Purusha. Whether you are in the form of a woman or a man, once you achieve this, you are a Purusha. You are not a Stree then, no? So, and if it is not done, a human form in a male body is always a Stree because Chitta is not controlled. Okay, so in every one of us there is a Purusha and a Stree together. Purusha and Prakriti becomes one only when Purusha, after knowing the Prakriti, sacrifices the Prakriti without attachment or karma to one's own Prakriti. Not when he keeps everything for himself. So that selfish nature is abandoned by the one who knows the entire universe, the entire Prakriti. You become unselfish. The one who selfishly keeps the riches and the power has not become qualified to be a Yajamana or Swami of the Prakriti. The association of Purusha with his Sahadharmini Prakriti is thus not one of karma. The Chitta meditates to do upakara, help to the entire world, so that I need enlightenment is the only upagara, the enlightenment. I need enlightenment. Only when I need enlightenment, I can do something good to the world. Not when I amass things, not when I become selfish and grasp everything. Grasp everything means the mundane things. You have to grasp everything by your intelligence, not by your physical things. That means only in a selfish, compassionate heart, the godliness and enlightenment, the bodhi will happen. Only when a person sacrifices the royal powers, the riches, like the Buddha, and thinks about that enlightenment so that he can give everything, every possible bliss to the entire world, he becomes an enlightened bodhicitta. No? This is only, this is a very, very natural thing. And this is, that is why Ashoka also was called a good bhai. He was so selfish. He had killed so many people. The entire Kalinga was destroyed. He was called Hina Ashoka. No? Then a Brahmin comes to him and tells him, no, this is not the way. You have to think about how ahimsa is good for you. Then he thinks about ahimsa. He finds his early ancestors like Buddha and all, how they conquered all. He becomes a total ahimsa person. This had happened in the history of India several times. Charan Chenguttuvan did that. In Chilapadigara story, the Tamil epic, the Charan Chenguttuva was so thirsty of war, power, money, riches. Then the Madala Brahmana comes and tells him, And also Kulavadigan Chatanar comes and tells him, no, this is not the way to do things. You have already amassed so much of wealth. Give away all the wealth. You do some sacrifice. That is why the yajna was done and the Kannageshila was put in a place to show that he has conquered the world and has become. World means not the physical world, the internal world. And he has become a good person, a sannyasi-like person. So this was very common in Indian in Indian subcontinent among all the kings. Yudhishthira did that. Rama did that. Everybody did that. So unselfish, compassionate heart is the godly heart where enlightenment happens. At the same time, that chitta have no dualities or any tendency to divide the bhoga, because everything is indivisible. That is the equality. See, everything is equally distributed by God for everybody, for every living and non-living thing. So why divide it for one person and take it away? So that happens, and desire for more stops, desire for change stops. Everything is balanced. The difference is only because of the sanidhya matra, and the association also is sanidhya matra. No other association or difference from Purusha and Prakriti in this context. Thus, Prakriti becomes Purusha, Purusha becomes Prakriti. Both are in Samya Bhava, Shiva Shakti Samarasya. That is why the imagery of the Ayaskanda Manikalpa is used. There is Purusha Sanidhya in the Chitta. It is the sign of Chitta. And Purusha has no Desha Kala Bheda. That is, time-space difference is not there. The time and space as two things are not differentiated by the Advaita Chitta, and the Anekatva, the manyness is not there. The power of enjoyment or Bhoktru Sakshi of Chitta is power of enjoyment of Purusha. Just by being the Sakshi, the witness, he enjoys everything. That is the character. And it is this power which is seen as Ayaskanda Manigalpa just by the presence. Just by the presence of the other things, they enjoy the quality. And enjoyment is by the change in form as Shabda, etc. And the Bhoga are the Vritti of the Chitta having Shabdadi Rupa. There is no difference between the Dharma and the Chaitanya or energy of Chitta because of Vritti Sarupya. Vritti Sarupya is similarity of function. Both are to be understood as Purusha. The Chitta Dharma of a person and his Chitta Chaitanya, and that Jivatma as Vyakshti Purusha, Vyakshti means different Purusha, are thus the same. A Chitta who has become one with the cosmic Purusha without samyoga or attachment, union with the worldly objects, gives away the parts or whole of the Aishwarya as aims to the needy and shares everything with others. If I have Vidya, I share it with everybody, not for money, not for power, just because I enjoy sharing Vidya. If nobody is there to take the Vidya, what will happen? That Vidya will go to nobody, no? That is how our scriptures were lost. Not because it was kept, but because there were no people to take the Vidya. If somebody distributes clothes, food, money, houses, or any other mundane things, people will come after those people and take away, grab everything, because people are so conscious about such things, mundane things. But somebody distributes Vidya, do you think there will be so many people around? No. So if there is a lot of people around, somebody understand that they are giving money or some mundane things, laukika things, not alaukika things. Alaukika things, the common people are not that much craving for. When somebody is giving an alaukika thing, only a few people, you can count them by fingers. Finger count people can come. Only that much will come. That is gospel truth actually. So Vidya, if you have Vidya, you can distribute only Vidya. Then when you distribute Vidya, when you share it with others, only those people who have the right type of personality, the right type of intelligence will grasp it and will come for it. So true Vidya doesn't go to the masses, doesn't become very popular, but it will go to the correct people. And that chitta is actually the real chitta, but it is not the chitta which runs after the riches or the power. That is the real yogi chitta. And this giving away of part of everything makes one purna and changeless. Purnamidam, you become just like Brahma. Brahmatna. The one who knows Brahma is the Brahmatna or the Brahmana. That makes that person, that sacrifice of entire riches and a devotion of the entire life for learning, knowledge, wisdom, that makes you a Brahmatna, a Sarvatna, and that makes you the changeless, eternal Brahma and Purna, Purnamidam, that Purna state. Then only you become a Brahmana. Then only you become a Brahmatna. So that is why the scriptures say that it is not by birth a Brahmana is born. You have to look at the profession, how they are conducting in the world. Are they after wisdom? Are they after learning? Have they sacrificed the entire life for pursuit of wisdom and learning? And are they giving away that learning, that Vidya, so that everybody also enjoy the bliss of Vidya? Then only that person is a Brahmana. So definitions are very important here. This type of Chitta Chaitanya is Amaithuna, Asamyoga, Aparinamini, Tyaga Swarupa, and Upakara Prada. And these are the Lakshana, these are the signs with which to understand such individuals. Just look around the world and find out how many people of this type you are seeing around. Then you will understand the real meaning of the words of Vyasa and Vachaspati, and of course of Patanjali too. And bhoga is associated with one's own Swami. Which of such bhoga is caused by Vidya and which by Avidya? How is the causeless Purusha originated? For this, the quotation karma are done like sopra by Avidya is given. In such Chittavritti Bhoga, projecting Dhira, Shanta, and Modha and such divisions or separatisms are enjoyed by the Avidya like Sopna, like dream enjoyments only. Those feelings are only dream-like. Some yoga happens when a man and a woman wishes to see the face of a child or a progeny, and therefore it is a function for sprouting of the seed of asha, the wish or desire. Similarly, samsara bija is also due to some yoga, to mundane things. The tendencies of avidya are reasons for samsara and for some yoga. Because of the association with avidya, we find the anegatva, the manyness, this is mine, that is yours, etc. That type of aneka or my manyness in chittavritti we find because of attachment to the samsara. So the samsara has to be sacrificed for real wisdom. That is the